Hello and welcome to my new weekly reading vlog. Today is Monday and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm home alone with Lucas, with my son. He has a little bit of a cold, so we can't go to the kindergarten because of all the situation with the pandemic. Tomorrow Artemis will be home with him, so tomorrow I will go to the work. So today we just sat on the sofa most of the time. I watched a little bit of YouTube and did some cross stitching, and now I'm thinking of doing some reading. At the moment I'm reading some kind of a retelling, Death Comes to Pemberley by P.D. James. This book has quite a low rating on Goodreads. I think it's 3.2 or something like that. That's alright. And this story is it happens 6 years after the Elizabeth Bennet has married the Darcy, and every year there's a ball in their household, and this year, and it's 1803, the day before the ball, her younger sister Lydia comes to the Elizabeth screaming that her husband was killed, and the story begins there. I don't want to tell you more if you haven't read that. I don't want to spoil you. But I'm already on the page 100 something, 146, so I'm quite almost in the middle of the book, and I really enjoy it. I don't understand why it has so low rating on the Goodreads, because I really enjoy it. It's a page turner. It's so easy to read, so easy to follow the story, and it reads almost as if it was written by Jane Austen. So yeah, very interesting book, at least for me. Pleasantly surprised. Definitely didn't expect to like this after I saw the Goodreads rating. So this is the main priority for this week. Also, on my Storytel app, I'm listening one of the Stephen King books. It's called The Institute, I think, and I think it's about, I'm not quite sure, but I think it's about a boy. So his parents are killed and he is brought to some kind of institute where I think there's a lot of children with some kind of special abilities. I think, at least that I think that's what it is about, but we will see. I'm only listening for maybe 10 minutes, so I'm just in the first few pages of the book. Yeah, so that's our update for now. So I think we just go and relax a little bit, and I think after an hour we will have to go and do some dinner for the daddy. Yes? Lucas?
Yeah.
Say hi.
Hi.
He's so cute. You are so cute.
And I can be good. I want to
Cheese. Good morning. It's now Wednesday. Yesterday I haven't talked to you because I haven't read a single page. The reason why is that I had a very long shift yesterday. I worked till 4:30, 4:30, and when I came back home I started feeling a little bit strange. I've got a migraine. After that I started feeling some pains in my stomach, and in the late evening I thought maybe I will have to call the ambulance because I started feeling very strange in the heart region. It seemed like my heart will just stop working. Now that I'm thinking, I think it was a panic attack. However, like you can guess, I just couldn't read. After some time I started to feel a little bit better, so I was able to sleep. So I slept until 10:30 in the morning, and now we will go to sell our old car, the one that is not working properly anymore. However, there's still someone who wants to buy it, or just parts of the car to use somewhere else. So we have to drive that car to the city. Aurimas, my husband, will do that, and after half an hour me and Lucas will go to pick him up. And then when we come home, I want to do the things for the next month for my reading journal, to do some diagrams and write my TBR list, and yeah, just write in my reading journal. To do that, because I think tomorrow is the first day of April, and of course I will be reading more of the Death Comes to Pemberley. More than halfway in this book, and I'm still really enjoying it. Yes, it's very, very slow. You can say that nothing is happening. However, I'm really interested in characters development, and more in characters than it's in the action. For me, there can be no action at all in the book if the characters are right properly. And for me, it's quite great book. I don't know, for now it's 4 stars for me, so I don't know what other people thought when they read this book. Of course, maybe in the last part everything will be just everything will be just I want to say Norwegian word ødelagt. Everything will be ruined in the last part of the book, but I have quite high hopes that everything will turn out okay with this book. And I have my suspects of who killed the man in this book. I don't want to spoil you if you haven't read it. Yeah, so we will see if I was right or not. And when we drive to pick up Aurimas, I'm thinking, instead of listening on the radio, I think I will try to listen for the Institute by Stephen King. I want to give some attention to that book also. So that's at least now, our plans for today, and we will see how it goes. Hopefully today there won't be any panic attacks. It was a long time since I had one, so it was just very sudden. I think that's why I didn't understand at the moment what's happening. Yeah, so hopefully today will be much better. Good morning. It's now Thursday and it's 9 o'clock in the evening, in the morning. We just woke up, both with Lucas, around half an hour ago, and yeah, we will start our day whilst Auramas still sleeping. It's his day to lay in a little bit longer. Yesterday I listened a little bit of The Institute by Stephen King, and now I'm on the point where the boy was kidnapped. It's not a spoiler, it's in the description of the book. And I listened over an hour of that book, so it's definitely slow going at the moment. But I quite enjoy it. It's quite interesting. Varsågod. Lucas just got a chocolate milk. Course. So he's very happy. It's a vacation treat. Of course, it's April 1st, so I want to start the month reading strongly. So I'm thinking maybe of doing a small 24 hours readathon. Of course I will be sleeping. I'm a grandma, I can't go without sleep, but at least from 9 now until tomorrow 9, I will try to read as much as possible, and by as much as possible I will try to finish reading the Death Comes to Pemberley and listen more of The Institute. So that will be my plans for today. We hadn't planned anything at the moment, so I don't know how it will go today, but hopefully I will read, because yesterday and the day before I was in a small reading slump. The day before yesterday I haven't read anything, and yesterday just a teeny tiny bit, so I want to read more today. So it's now much later. I think it's around 5 o'clock in the evening. Yes, it's almost 5 o'clock in the evening, and my mini readathon is going very well. Not easy for me to say. Very well. I listened for, let me see how much I listened. If you hear the sound in the background, it's my husband and my son making all that noise. I listened almost 4 hours of The Institute by Stephen King, and I have a difficult relationship with Stephen King. I like his books, but I don't love them. For me, it's, everyone says that it's very creepy, or that they're very thrilling or something like that. For me, it's not. So same with this one. I'm in the middle of the book and it's okay, and nothing that extreme happened, nothing spooky, nothing scary, at least for now. And it's very slowly going. So yeah, hopefully I will finish it. I don't think that I will finish it today, but hopefully tomorrow or the day after. And also I'm reading, I'm almost finished with the Death Comes to Pemberley. I'm now on the page 286, and it's about 30 more pages left for me to read. And we almost know what happened. Almost. And it's also good. I think I will give it 3 stars. The end is a little bit disappointing for me, but not that extremely that I couldn't give it more than 3 stars or 3 stars. So we will see. It's still 30 pages left for me to read, so we will see. And I think now we will go on a little trip just to go outside and for the change of scenery. So yeah, I think I will continue reading when I will come back home. So it's almost 12 now. I'm from the shower with my PJs, and I finished reading The Death Comes to Pemberley, finally. I gave it 4 stars. Actually, I really enjoyed it, so it will definitely stay on my shelf. I already have my stamp on it, and I will definitely keep it. I can understand why people not like that book, do not like that book. It was definitely very slow. Nothing much happened. There wasn't that much action in this book, but for some reason I just loved reading it. I love coming back to that world once again. Read about Elizabeth and Darcy, although Elizabeth wasn't the main character in this book. It was more focused on Darcy and his inner dialogue and the prosecution of Wickham. Yeah, so I'm very pleasantly surprised by this book, and I'm definitely glad that I'm finally read it. I have to say thank you to Auramas because he picked this book for me to read. He did a great job. Now I made my April TBR. I have a video posted. If I remember, I will link it. But another book that I have to read this month is one of the oldest that I have on my bookshelf, and it is by Norwegian author Jo Nesbø, Mereblå. It's a Norwegian copy, and it's a crime book. So it's very short, so hopefully I will read it quite quickly. Although when I read Jo Nesbø's previous books, it took me quite a while to read them. But yeah, like I said, it's very short, so maybe I will read a lot of it maybe today or tomorrow. I still am on my on my readathon. Yeah, so that's my plan for now. I will read this one at least for half an hour. I think I don't feel very sleepy at the moment. Also, I can sleep a little bit longer tomorrow because Auramas will be with Lucas in the morning, so I can sleep a little bit longer if I want to. If not, then I will read in bed. Also, I listened, let me see how many hours I listened of the Institute. Let me see. I listened for 6 hours of The Institute by Stephen King, and 3 hours still left for me. 3 hours and 60 minutes. it's like with all Stephen King books, for me it's very mediocre, to be honest. I thought that I would like to buy that book to have it on my bookshelf, but I think not. After I listened more than I have of that book. Yeah, it's okay. There's a little bit of action, but nothing very thrilling or creepy or spooky. I don't know. To be honest, this one was more interesting for me than the Institute. For me, this book sounds very old. It's written in the action goes in the nowadays. However, when I read, I picture all the characters in around 70s or 80s, in that time period, and it feels like action is happening in that time of period. Only sometimes when he talks about the new president or about cell phones or something like that, just, oh yes, it's in nowadays. Somehow it's just hard for me to picture characters in this time because yeah, the writing is seems quite old for me. So not that great book, unfortunately. Hello, it's now I think it's Friday. I'm lost in the days. It's now 2:30 in the afternoon, and we just came back home from the drive-through. We just went on a little drive around our neighborhood just to get out from the house. Yesterday I read a little bit of Readathon, 26 pages, and so far it's okay. Nothing much happened. We are just introduced with the main character, Ulf. We don't know anything about him, and I think that is the purpose of this book, to not know much about him in the beginning. So I think now I will try to film, I would like to film a wrap-up of the March, if it will be possible, because my battery is dying. I have to fix that, and whilst my battery will be charging, I'll try to read a little bit of that book, or maybe listen a little bit more of The Institute by Stephen King. I want to finish that book today or tomorrow because I'm done with that story. I'm not that interested. So we will see how it goes. Good morning. It's now Saturday and it's, let me see, it's almost 12 o'clock. We're both with Lucas already up from, I think, 8 o'clock, so it was a very productive day. So now I sat down on the sofa and watching a little bit of YouTube, and I already finished this book today. Started it, I think, yesterday and finished today. I think it's this month is going quite great because it's only the 3rd of April. I already finished 3 books. So for this one I gave 3 stars. It was more concentrated on characters, not the action, and it's about until what point in your life you can go, what you can do in order to help your loved ones, what are you willing to give up, or what are you willing to sacrifice for your loved ones. So yeah, quite interesting crime book. Recommended. Yeah, so yesterday I also began listening the audiobook by A.S. King. I think it's called The Day We Fell from Stars or something like that. I will show you the picture here. I listened for I think around for around an hour of that book, and it's okay. Reads very young. Definitely for young adults. So today we're thinking of driving a little bit to the city. We need to do some shopping before Easter. Also, I will try to prepare some food for tomorrow, and I think we will try to dye some eggs for Easter's. So that's our plans, just preparing for the celebration. And of course I will try to read a little bit more. Hello, it's now Sunday and happy Easter to all of you. Yeah, I think I will do my last update for now because I want to go and start editing video. This one and the one that I filmed yesterday, it will be my March wrap-up. So this week was amazingly good because in the first 3 days of April I managed to read 4 books, so for me it's just amazing. So I read, what books I have read? Now I have forgot all of them. I will show you the pictures here of the books that I read. I think it was Mere Blood by UNESCO. I gave it, I think, 3 stars. I read what else have I read? I finished reading Death Comes to Pemberley. I gave it 4 stars. Yesterday I finished listening of the Year We Fell from Stars, I think, by S.A. King. I gave it also, I think, 3 stars. I will talk about that book more in my April wrap-up. And there was one more, I think. I can't remember, but I will show you the picture. So it was amazing. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and we will talk in my next one. Bye.